So now, we see a strong bullish momentum that has broken the creek. A very, very positive development for the crypto ecosystem. Is it then the right time to buy Bitcoin? Or would it be a disastrous decision? As you can observe, the financial markets, whether metals, crypto, stocks, or indices, all move exactly the same way, as the people behind the scenes pulling the strings are the same large institutions. I'm going to explain to you why I find silver more interesting than gold. Robert Kiyosaki, the author of the personal finance book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, has reiterated his support for assets like Bitcoin, gold, and silver as inflation threatens to worsen the standard of living worldwide. Kiyosaki has tweeted the following. Great news, gold reaches new high. Bad news, workers and savers are losers. Bad news, been saying the same for 25 years, don't be a loser. Get out of fake money system. Get into gold, silver, Bitcoin now, before it's too late. Not too long ago, on November 23, Kiyosaki said, "I am shocked at the rising prices of inflation. Thank God I have plenty of money. Yet I feel for those who struggle paycheck to paycheck. I feel for people who cannot afford food, rent, fuel, and cannot afford to invest in gold, silver, and Bitcoin as I suggest." We must also remember how in August of this year, Kiyosaki told us, Bitcoin will reach $100,000. I've been saying for years that gold and silver are God's money. Bitcoin is the people's money. It would be bad news if the stock and bond market collapsed, and gold and silver skyrocketed. But it would be worse news if the world economy collapsed. Bitcoin will reach $1 million, gold will reach $75,000, and silver $60,000. There is no doubt that Robert Kiyosaki's words carry weight, as he is strongly betting on the future of gold, silver, and Bitcoin. He's not just betting on breaking historical highs. Kiyosaki is betting on a rocket journey to space and beyond. So in this video, we will assess Kiyosaki's words and study the charts of Bitcoin, gold, and silver to determine if we can take his words into consideration or not. Let's start by analyzing gold. Here you are looking at its weekly chart. Are you going to tell me that this type of behavior, where we see a great bullish frenzy, followed by a corrective pattern that takes a long time before exploding again, doesn't seem familiar to you? Well, the first major gold bull run occurred in the 80s, quite a while back, and the most recent and powerful, starting in 2001, ended its bullish momentum in 2011. Since then, gold has been in a corrective pattern. But if you're a follower of Crypto Insight, you know very well that smart money moves the price as follows. After working a strong bullish momentum, it usually channels it, always favoring its directionality. That's why we can be optimistic about gold. Just look at the defense zone marked around $1,000 and see how the price was able to respect this area. And even here, we experienced a bullish accumulation process that pierced through in 2019. It seems like they prepared for an event with some anticipation of what might happen later in March 2020. Of course, I say the latter in jest, but what is undeniable is that they have been preparing substantial bullish positions here. Obviously, just look at the significant impact. So, what do we have here? A strong momentum, and now we are experiencing the attempt of that replication. It would be disastrous if this replication doesn't succeed, because if we were to see a harmonic failure in gold, the medium to long-term consequences would not be too favorable. But let's address Robert Kiyosaki's question. Well, actually, the question I pose to you, Robert Kiyosaki, is urging the entire universe to buy gold. But the question is, would it be wise to start doing it now? Well, I think it's pretty clear that a truly smart purchase should have been made before 2019, at the latest by August 2019. Once the price broke through the crick of this bullish accumulation process, it became clear. Now, if you look closely, we are at the top of this bullish channel, and with a little zoom, you'll see that we are very close to the recent highs of gold. A context, an event that sincerely raises doubts about starting to buy now. Right here, as you can see after the breakout of the creek, the accumulation process at the base of the gold's bullish channel after the strong bullish impulse and attempt at replication. What we are experiencing here is a defensive zone that once created a trap scenario, hence the significant reaction since November 2022. So, if it wasn't bought before August 2019, it could have been bought in August 2021, July 2022, and October 2022. Here, I am marking the intelligent purchases to enter long in gold. And as you can see, once the movement has occurred, it would be imprudent to start buying now. Now, when we are at the border, knocking on the door to see if we are allowed in or not. So, to the question, if you buy here, where will you place your stop loss? Do you consider it smart to start buying gold now, as Robert Kiyosaki suggests? Leave your your opinion in the comments. And if you're enjoying this analysis, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell for YouTube to notify you of future posts. And now I'm going to share my perspective with the silver chart, which you are currently seeing on a weekly time frame. Well, with silver, just like with gold back in the 80s, they really did a pump and dump on silver. You don't even see this on a SHIBA INU chart, not to mention that then they talk about cryptocurrencies. Look at silver. See what it did? This was the great silver bubble, and I believe it simply dragged gold along. Just look at how they define that historic high, a historic high that in 2011 we went to visit and surpass. And now, ask yourself the following question. When in print media, and when your favorite firefighter tells you, buddy, look at how silver is at historic highs, I think it's a good buying opportunity. Just see how this asset keeps rising. So imagine how many unsuspecting people started buying silver in 2011. Disastrous. And just like in gold, silver has experienced a good metal winter. No crypto winter here. We're talking about metals. So now, if we look at 2011, and what was the great 2.0 version impulse of silver, let's analyze the following. On one hand, the corrective pattern hasn't been as dramatic as it was in the past, like in the 80s. As I mentioned a moment ago, this looks like a pump and dump of your favorite cryptocurrency, but here we start to see different things, something more serious, so to speak. On one hand, here we see the classic bearish impulse that comes to pierce a distribution that has set a macro trap. After this bearish impulse you're currently witnessing on the screen, what smart money usually does is lull the price, making it seem like it's still falling, so people forget about the asset until the moment they come to break the bearish wedge. Well, it's nothing we haven't seen just a few weeks ago in the crypto market, an event we were warning you about before it happened. The future impact of these wedges is typically a strong upward impulse. And now I'm going to share what I think will happen with silver and Bitcoin. But before that, leave your opinion in the comments. If you're enjoying this analysis, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell for YouTube to notify you of future posts. As I was talking a moment ago, if we've experienced this wedge, and if you look, they've worked it with a lot of malice as they violently pierced it. But before giving us the segment we all like to see, they've cleaned house, set a trap, clearly seeking liquidations. After liquidating the bulls in silver, only then do they make the real move we've been waiting for. In other words, they've been quite malicious, and I'm talking about smart money, of course. These trickster desires are related to a trend line that smart money would like to work with. That's when we can see that a bullish accumulation process has taken place here, where we can identify the origin of the breakout, whose rupture the price then came to visit surgically. But well, it's nothing you haven't seen. Normally, technical analyses in the crypto report, as you can see, financial markets, whether metals, crypto, stocks, indices, all move exactly the same way because the people behind pulling the strings are the same, the big institutions. I'll explain now why I find silver versus gold more interesting. On one hand, I like how this accumulation process has been broken. They did it with a full bullish impulse, and here we would now be experiencing that corrective pattern, a corrective pattern that has sought the origin of the breakout. And not only that, but they've worked a defensive zone that, of course, will grant the trap scenario, especially knowing that they've sought the origin of the breakout. It's then when we give great importance to this recovery and structural validation. So, regarding Robert Kiyosaki, silver should have been bought either in August 2019 or July 2020. Then there were other opportunities in September 2021, December 2021, and a very good one in September 2022, not to mention the recent ones in March 2023, and just recently in October 2023. In other words, unlike gold, silver has offered multiple long entry opportunities in its price. And not only that, but if we compare it with the gold chart, where, remember, we are at the top of a macro bullish channel and at the same time near that recent high. All of this is telling us that buying gold is a disastrous operational zone, even if we see its price surpassing $44 and going up. Imagine, would you want to buy here? If you want, buy it all after reading the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. But I wouldn't go around buying gold here. This same theory enabled us to warn on the Crypto Insight YouTube channel not to buy Bitcoin at $68,000. For the same reason, looking at a weekly gold chart, I see no reason whatsoever to want to buy gold. On the other hand, with silver, we can consider another opportunity. First, we need to highlight a very relevant level at around $28 with $72. In the end, it's the level of the highest transactional volume related to this distribution that intended to lower the price. That's why we see that silver has reacted or put an end to this bullish impulse. So, Here we have a dual interpretation. On one hand, right now, when Robert Kiyosaki has posted that tweet, it doesn't seem like the best idea to try to buy a potential structural breakout of this corrective pattern, right? When we're knocking on the structure's door, especially considering that in the case of a breakout, we'll have to deal with the point of control, with this level that we know will have to be fought for. Therefore, buying silver now is not the best idea for a long-term strategy. However, when could it be interesting to buy silver? Well, first, we break the price level of $28.83 upwards. It doesn't matter how forcefully it breaks, and then on a validation. Here would be another opportunity point to look for a long position in silver. If that event doesn't happen, I wouldn't be buying silver. And in the case of gold, I wouldn't wait for any kind of event to buy it. So in any case, I would prioritize silver. So what can we expect from the weekly chart of Bitcoin? I think it's quite clear visually that among gold, silver, and Bitcoin looks much better for long-term positivity. Well, here we come from a strong bullish impulse, and now we are experiencing its corrective pattern. What we're looking for, and I've shared with you several times, is a bullish replication that we believe will come sooner or later. Well, here you're seeing a dashed line, which is nothing other than the base of the bullish channel we've been working on for some time. The same one that warned us not to buy at $68,000 as it was entirely unproductive, and even those who were long here had to close their position for operational management, nothing else. We still have that base of the channel in a dashed line. Basically, here we have the origin of the breakout, and now we want to see how the price has sought that structure. A price behavior that we know smart money loves to go after. Clearly, we can see all kinds of reactions in the Bitcoin price, but at the same time, we must consider the following. And we've been talking about this bearish climactic action, which would be the end of the fall to initiate a double bullish impulse. Undoubtedly, that was the best time to buy, but now let's evaluate the following. Robert Kiyosaki says we should buy Bitcoin now. Let's see if that's true. As I said, this was a good buying point at the break of the creek. You could also have been buying in this defensive zone. One could have re-entered the upward trend, and now what we're going to evaluate is that all of this is a macro structural trap that the price has come to validate the structure. And not only that, but in this whole journey, it has pierced the creek, a very relevant level encompassing this price range, where we presume that smart money has been compulsively buying. It's now when we see a strong bullish impulse that has broken the creek, a very, very positive event for the crypto ecosystem. So now we should ask ourselves the following question. Is it a good time to buy Bitcoin now, or would it be a disastrous decision? Well, considering that we have the OR here and that we've already had a strong bullish impulse, it doesn't seem like the best idea to go buying now. Basically, the firefighter is seeing that since January 2023, Bitcoin has been consistently rising. Now he's going to tell you, friend, it's time to buy, to which you have to respond to the firefighter. Hey, if I understand that we should be positive about Bitcoin, but I also understand that the entry points were here and here. If you want to enter the market late now, the smart thing would be, if the price decides to correct, which would be very healthy behavior, to wait for it around the creek or a bit higher, an opportunity to look for an upward entry. If this doesn't happen, and the market doesn't offer you this opportunity, what you can do is wait for the price to pierce the origin of the breakout, this dashed guideline, and wait for confirmation of the structure. Then we'll have a new opportunity to go long in the cryptocurrency market. I hope the message has been understood, where we've analyzed Robert Kiyosaki's words about his opinion that now is an ideal time to buy gold, silver, or Bitcoin. In this video, we've shared the charts of gold, silver, and Bitcoin, and we've questioned whether now is the best time. We've just provided alternative ideas that you can wait for, and if they occur, then react to make much more informed, thoughtful, and intelligent decisions. Now tell me, do you think it's good to buy now, or quite the opposite? Leave your opinion in the comments, and if you like this technical analysis, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell so that YouTube notifies you of future posts. I hope you have good trading, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.